Liberia is our only home. Liberia is our only home. We cannot sit and watch Liberia die. Liberia is our home. Liberia is our home. The only home we know. Let's fight to bring it back. Take it from the rogues. Take it from the thieves. Let us punish them. Liberia is our home. Liberia is our home. All you patriots rise. The time has come to end the massive stealing of our wealth. Rise, oh patriots. Rise, my patriots. Time to get our nation back. Liberia is our only home. We cannot sit and watch Liberia die. Liberia is our home, the only home we have. Rise up, patriots. Rise up, loyalists. Commander Chesson is calling the order of the day. Liberia is our home, the only home we know. Liberia cannot die. We owe it to our parents. We owe it to our elders. We owe it to the ancients. We owe it to our parents. Liberia cannot die. Rise up, oh patriots. Rise up, oh loyalists. Liberia is our home, the only home we have. Fight, fight for Liberia. Fight, fight for freedom. Fight, fight to free Liberia. Liberia is our home, the only home we ever know. Liberia is our pride, the inheritance we have. Rise, patriots, rise, loyalists, rise, Liberians. Follow Commander Chesson, follow Commander. Follow Commander Chesson. Rise, rise. Attorney Commander Chesson shall lead the order. Save Liberia, free Liberia, Follow Commander Chesson. He will set the path. He will set the path. Aluta continua. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, men and women. Welcome to Attorney Commander Galpohkpa Chesson Talk Show. I have changed the time of my show because it's a lot of sacrifice for me to get up early in the mornings to do my show. And I realized, first of all, my name is spelled wrong. You're sorry for that. I realized that the people may be busy. My people may be asleep. Or for some other reason. So I decided now to let my show come on at any time. Because I want to come on when there's breaking news. I want to come on when there are immediate situations going on in my country. And I want to touch on every situation that has to do with our community. You see behind me is the beautiful state of Rhode Island, Providence, Rhode Island, the city. And my show is primarily for diaspora Liberians. Let me repeat this. My show primarily is for diaspora Liberians. I'm being in trouble by this misspelling of my name down here, but you people, please ignore it, okay? I was rushing to get this show on. I had this inspiration. I said, well, let me do it now. So as you can see, I had to redo my board and do everything. So I'm here to really express and stress upon the minds of my people in the diaspora. My young Liberians here, that if we do not get our acts together in the United States of America, our nation will never rise. Our people will never rise. We need leadership. We need direction. We need focus. We need understanding. We need to learn about ourselves. And the Liberians today are too young, are too gullible, are too easily misled to serve the interests of our country and our people as it should be served. The way our country is going, the way I see our diaspora young people leading our country, we're going to end up right back into slavery. We're going to end up right back into dependency forever because we have no concept of being sovereign people or sovereign nation. We are still treading on this dependency trail. International community, America, international. We can never build a nation like that. So either we want to be a satellite state of America, or we just want to be a useless nation in Africa, like every other African nation. Because there's a problem. There's a problem. All African nations are dependent people. We are dependent. And Liberia cannot be like other African nations. Why? Because we are the exception. We are the first Negro nation on the continent of Africa, which is the home of the majority of Black people. So we are the most significant nation of Africa's independence, freedom, not by force of arm, not through fighting our oppressors, We came from the land of the oppressed and came to Africa to rebuild our people and nation. But because of our greed, because of our selfishness, because of our short-sightedness, because of our gullibility, because of our insensitivity, because of our selfishness, we have remained as we are for nearly 200 years. We have always taken one step forward and two steps backwards. And they have destroyed our whole nation by killing our fathers and mothers in 1980, April 12th. It wasn't no mistake. But secondly, it was necessary. It was necessary for us to change that regime and build a better regime for ourselves. But for 40 years now, we have lingered in the wilderness because we have refused to follow the will of Jesus Christ, who was the precursor of the founding of the Republic of Liberia. He led us into this era. Our biggest benefactors for the founding of Liberia was the Christian church. And that is why our foundation is based upon Christian principles. Because the Christian church was instrumental in freeing the slaves. I think it was the most influential group, because through the church, it impacted the slave masters, the women of the wives of the slave masters. It impacted the sensibilities of the American society that enslaved Black people, that had some kind of conscience in them, that was not driven by wealth and greed and power. Well, they had the light in them of Jesus Christ. So they relented through the church and said, okay, we'll send our free slaves home. We'll send them back to Africa. And even though the U.S. government is not giving it the support it needs, the backing it needs, the American Colonization Society, the ACS, were formed by wealthy people to get the backing of the U.S. government indirectly. That is why the ACS were founded in the halls of the capital of the United States of America. These people were right there. They said, let's form this organization right here. Let's use our influence and our powers to get the backing of the United States government indirectly, so that when we can form this nation called Liberia. And when our nation was founded, it was founded basically by the church, by the Christian church. That's why our nation is so religious. Our nation is so Christian, because it was the Christian group in America that was the most forceful group for the founding of Liberia, for the founding of the American Colonization Society. So when we formed our nation and went back to Liberia, Christianity was the crux of the nation. And that's why we became a Christian nation. Why it is in our constitution that only Black people can own Liberia is because of our legacy and history of enslavement by our white brothers. And they put it in our constitution that only Black people can own the West African Republic of Liberia. And that is why we are a Black nation. That is why we have kept our nation Black, and we have never been accused of being racist. Because our protection of our land and our nation for only our posterity is because of our enslavement by the world. So Liberia is not only the home of the Bass or the Gio. No, Liberia is the home of resettled Black people as well. So this is the only nation in Africa that represents the full embodiment of African peoples. We have our 16 tribes, plus we had the settler group, which was a group that was a mixture between the resettlers and the Americans that came to Liberia. And that's what we became known as the Congo. But it was a joke from the Bassa people trying to tease us because the resettlers were now considered as Liberians because they were not part of the America, they were not part of the 16 tribes. But when they resettled, they intermingled with the African Americans because of the need for protection, the need for inclusiveness, the need for being a part of the Liberian society. So when they call all of us Congo, we say, okay, no problem. But we know our society. We know our culture. We know our leaders. So the leading of Liberia is through divine inspiration, through the spirit of the Holy Trinity. And that will make Liberia special. Yes, we are not a Christian nation, but because the inspiration for founding Liberia came out of the Church of America, we have that desire of the two principles of the teachings of Jesus Christ that have become the principles for the founding of Liberia. One, love your God with all your heart, with all your soul, and all your mind. They didn't say Christian God. Jesus didn't tell us Christian God. But when Jesus said, love the God, Lord your God with all your heart, we know that Jesus is a Jew. We know that Jesus, God, is the God of Israel. So whatever Jesus preached, it was based upon the teachings of the Bible, of the Old Testament, of the Torah. Although he modified the laws by including himself as a teacher, himself as the Son of God, himself as a part of the Holy Trinity. Because he never told us he was from this earth. Jesus never once professed that he was from the earth. He always told us that his kingdom was never on this earth. He was here to fulfill a mission. And that was to form the New Testament, to form the inclusiveness of God's people, of the Gentiles, of the peoples of the world who want to be a part of the God of Israel. He gave us another choice. He gave us an opportunity that if we believe in his immaculate birth, conception, and believe that he is the Son of God, we can find a path to the God of Israel. So he gave us another option, that we don't have to be Arabs. We don't have to go to the Muslims. We who are not Arabs, we who don't follow Muhammad, we who are from the African regions, we have a choice. Africa was overrun by Islam. But before it was overrun, we had the Nubians, we had the Kushites, who prevented the Arabs from coming into Africa because they were in Egypt. They were along. They were Sumerians. They were Cameroonians, Sudan. All the excuse me. All those nations were impacted by Christianity, by the coming of Solomon to Africa. So Solomon brought a different religion other than Islam. Solomon did not represent Islam. He represented the Hebrews, a different kind of people who were in the Middle East but came out with a different religion and a different belief and a different teaching. So that whole East African region, along the Nile, along the Saudi Peninsula, were Kushites and Nubians and Sudanese and all these people that were also Christians. So they prevented the Arabs from coming into Africa. We had the Black Moses. Black Moses was a real Black Moses. His history is written. He was a monastery monk, but before that he was a thief. He was a Nubian warrior and a thief, and he had gangsters, and they went and raided the monastery. And when they were killing the monks and robbing the place, the monk that was leading the place and he was about to kill, I told him, say, you will come back and head this monastery. And Moses repented and became known as Black Moses. And he wrote a lot of the monastic teachings of the monks. He was one of the greatest monks of the Christian church, the Black Moses. So these are the things in our history we don't know about. There were Black popes. Maurice. You go to foreign countries, you will see statues of Black popes. But it's all based on racism and trying to deceive the African people. But the Africans who have been taken abroad into slavery have risen from slavery, have made great contributions to Europe and America. But they will not tell you that. They will not tell you that. Only the real people who know about these things will tell us it. But the other people who want to continue to suppress us and oppress us and keep us enslaved will not tell us these things. And that is why my teaching is geared especially towards diaspora Liberians. So we learn about ourselves and our contribution to these great nations. And we don't just come here and live and ignore it. When we ignore it, that means our senses, our intelligence is not risen. We are still mediocre people. Because we come in this great nation and we don't learn of our people in this nation and how great they are and how they came from Africa. Whether we sold them, whether the white people came and took them, it doesn't matter. What matters is they came here and they made great contributions. And they may be blind to who they are. Because it's the intention of races to divide us, to change our mentalities, to make us enemies to one another. So we don't understand that in unity there is strength and power. So as long as we keep hitting each other, as long as we keep divided, as long as in Liberia itself we keep divided and acting like monkeys and useless dummies, we can never achieve the greatness like the cities behind us. When I achieve it, look at Ghana, look at Nigeria. Those places not for them. That's why the tribes cannot be at peace with each other. Because they are still Commonwealth nations. All those buildings in Ghana, they're not owned by the Black people. No, the Black people have their government that is submissive to Europe. They are part of a Commonwealth. So they're not free. All that president bullshit of Nigeria, president of Ghana, president of that, that's bullshit. They are enslaved people because they got to submit to the queen. And that's the whole purpose of the Commonwealth. The British Commonwealth. There's no African Commonwealth. Africans are part of the British Commonwealth. They are part of the French Commonwealth. They have no attachment to Africa. They are just useless dummies. The AU means shit. Because the AU is full of people who are Commonwealth slaves. And that's why Liberia was the leader of the OAU. And we're supposed to be the leader of the AU too, but we got dummies leading our country. All our educated people in America are dependency dummies, are international community dummies, are United Nations dummies, are World Code dummies. We are all dummies to foreign nations. So we have no strength within ourselves. We are useless. We are all wearing Ellie Johnson panties. We are. It's just that I'm the only one. I will tell you all like it is. I'm the only one that don't give a damn about Congo or country. I'm the only one ready to jail everybody in that damn Liberia to set an example of honesty, of decency, of law and order, to stop nepotism, to stop tribalism. This Congo country bullshit is tribalism. The Congo people tribalists too. The Congo people are just as evil as the native people. Got to see shit we're practicing among ourselves. Hey, got to stop. We got to punish these damn Congo people. And I'm willing to punish them. Why? Because I don't hate them. I don't hate them. I love Liberia more. I love my country more. Their family, their group. Look at this country behind me. Why my people can't be like this and we own it? Why we gotta be like this and all white people, all the Lebanese people, all the Indian people, all everybody? Why? Because we are selfish, we are damn lazy, and we need chests and boots in our asses. Because the time of the Liberian Revolution is now. All you useless people running behind international community, running behind United Nations for our freedom, and you're sitting there, got these useless dummies like Prince Johnson and George Weah and Ellen Johnson selling our children, running around in our country, keeping us hostages. You better rise up like real men and women. And this is what my class is for. Because I realize that teaching Liberian people is not beneficial to me. When my people in America are just as dumb as the people in Liberia. They can have all the degrees from America, but when their minds are not conceptualized into Pan-Africanism, they are useless. They don't understand the dreams of our father, like Fanon, like Blyden, like E.J. Roy, like all the great people in America that stood up for Liberia, Hillary Teague, Burgess and Mills. These were white people that came to Africa because they believed that black people were inherently God's people and we could build our own nation. We just needed a helping hand, not a begging hand. And we have become beggars. We have become so lazy. We have become so greedy. We have become so useless. We have become so petty that we are beggars. And we still don't know we are beggars. And we got all these people there talking about, oh, we're bringing Alan White. We're bringing this person. We're bringing this person. And we have no concept of who we are. We're depending on 2 or 3 white people to raise Liberia and 4 million people of Africans. Are you people dummies? Are you stupid? Do you have the gift of gab? You know what the gift of gab is? The gift of gab is people who talk bullshit. That's the gift of gab. I don't have the gift of gab. I have the gift of leadership. I have the gift of consciousness. I have the gift of leading 5, 6, 10, 12, 15, 800 million people in the right direction. Without deception, without the lies, without treachery, but only with the power of Jesus Christ, through which we inherit our own strengths and abilities. So let me get my lesson this morning. This was just an introduction to tell you that my lesson is for the people in the diaspora. Liberian people who are lost and have no consciousness of who you are. You dependent, useless people. International community, fools. United Nations, fools. Advocates of hell. Useless Liberian people. You're useless. Because you sit in America and don't know your own selves and your own history because of the selfishness and the greed of our fathers and mothers. And it is inherent in us because we have not understood who we are. We have not understood the essence of the teachings of Christianity and the leadership of the 3-in-1. That's why those of us who are leaders of Liberia base our teachings on Jesus Christ and not Juju and not Sumuyaya. Yes, we are not perfect. We have flaws. I failed the bar exam in America 5 times. That's why my people don't want to come here. They don't want to accept the fact that I am a damn attorney commander. And I will lead them and free my people. I don't need accolades from the United States of America. I came here to learn. And I've learned. I don't have to pass the bar exam to demonstrate that I've learned. This is not my country of education. This is not my country of birth. This is not my country of love. Look at the black people in America today. Is this a nation of love for black people? This is not a nation of love for black people. This is a nation that tries to enslave my people and use power and guns to do that, despite the fact we are citizens of the nation and have been citizens since the 1800s. And that's why we left, because we were constructively evicted as citizens of the United States. And the African Americans are still constructively evicted from this country today because the laws and the people of this nation do not respect black people. When you have one party doing its best to stop us from voting, to stop us from living, this is no different from 1800s. This is why we left this country. And that's why I don't get involved with American affairs no more. Because my black people in this country are not conscious of who they are. They still think they own their own. They still think that they just dropped from the skies and came to America. They don't know where their power lies in Africa and among African people. Because without the knowledge and consciousness of who you are, you wither away. And I can't come to America in this day and age after I've been here for 30 years, writing my magazine, having TV shows, and all these things to show my African American brothers and sisters a better way, a new life, that we are part of each other. But they still reject me. They still call me African. They still do understand that the power of Black America rests in Africa. So I cannot continue to teach our people who are just as blind as my African people in Africa, and they think that with a master's degree and a PhD, they have arrived, and they're still fighting for freedom and voting rights and being denied and being pushed back and killed like dogs in the United States of America, and they still think they're free. They still don't think they're Africans. They still think they drop from the skies. Ignorance beholds the black people of the world today still. Blindness is our plight today for African people throughout the world. We are blind. And that makes us useless with all our education, with all our fraternities, with all this. The white man has no respect for us. And let me get into my lesson, because my lesson is for diaspora Liberians, which includes African Americans. You are diaspora Liberians, and you don't even know yourselves. You think you are African Americans? No, you are lost Liberian people. And until you come to your consciousness, you're not South Africans, you're not Ghanaians, you're not Nigerians. Those are enslaved people. Those are Commonwealth people. They are lost Africans. They don't know who they are. They let themselves deceive themselves and think they are presidents and ministers, but they are nothing but useless slaves to the Commonwealth. And until you people rise, conscious of who you are, knowing that you cannot be a president of your nation and be a part of the British Commonwealth. You cannot be the president of your nation and be part of the French Commonwealth. You cannot be part of the African Union and be part of the French and the British Commonwealth. You are deceiving yourselves. You are not deceiving Attorney Commander Galpohkpa Chesson, because I am who I am. And that's why sharks and mollusks don't mix. I cannot mix with Africans who are not free. And in their minds, they think they are free. And they are dummies and enslaved people. And won't tell me that I don't know what I'm talking. And you expect me to join the Liberian community, the African community, and all these useless people in America who don't know who they are, who are people of Commonwealth nations? Then they won't fight for my human rights in America and think we'll be successful. Let me drink some sweet water. Because I'm not part of this confusion. I'm not part of this Negro mess. Oh, yes, and it's right. My name is correct. Chess won. Chess won. Attorney Commander Galpohkpa Chess won. Shit. It's correct. I've won. I surpassed the ignorance of my people. I passed the blindness of my Liberian children in the diaspora. I passed the weakness and loss of strength of men and women of Liberia today. So I stand alone. Though a bastard, though an outside child, though a man who has been denied the rights that are rightfully mine through my mother and my father. So I stand alone as the bastard of Liberia, but also the enlightened one, the educated one, the patriot, the loyalist, the true Liberian leader. And I'm not ashamed to say it. Excuse me. Because as my people have lost self-esteem, which I will talk about, I better get my lesson because I'm just talking. My first lesson today is to teach my diaspora Liberians, my diaspora African Americans who are Liberians and don't know that freedom has always been at hand. Freedom has always been our plight because we are God's people. And once we accept Jesus Christ as the Savior of our lives, we need nobody else. That's why I'm teaching my Liberian people, I don't need mom. I don't need pa. I need only brothers or sisters to determine my plight. I'm not beholden to the Chesson family. I'm not beholden to the Fremont family. I'm beholden only to the Holy Trinity and the Three in One. And once I know who I am and where my roots belong, I don't need my people. My people need me. The same thing with Aaron Costa. Boy, Aaron Costa got to learn leadership. That's why I told him I'll bring him into the fold because he believed in Jesus Christ. And he believed that only he alone is the power of the true Liberian people. And we don't care whether you're Muslim. We don't care whether you're animist. We don't care how you feel. Because when a nation is founded upon the blood of Jesus Christ, there is no damn turning back. We are the leaders of our nation, and nobody can turn us away. No Arabs, no Jews, no Americans, nobody. We rest upon the foundation of Jesus Christ and Christianity. So I'm a man of the world. I'm a man of divine inspiration and powers. That I do not submit myself, nor my nation, nor 4 million people to any one white man, to any 2 white men, to any 3 white men, to any nation of white men. Because I am that I am, and I know who I am. And I rise upon the foundation of the Three in One, the Holy Trinity. And I fear no evil because I am the baddest black nigger in the valley. And I will walk through the valley of shadow of death, depending upon the rod and staff of the divine. And I can't see me submitting my life and my plight to another man like me just because he's white. Hell no. He got 2 balls. He got 1 penis. He got 1 heart. He got 1 brain, just like I have. And who is he that I must submit myself for wealth, for power, for my own salvation and freedom? I will submit myself to another man? Are you crazy, my people? So let me tell you my lesson today. Diaspora Liberians. My first lesson starts with patriotism. Knowing who you are, knowing where you come from, knowing that if you're a Liberian, you can't submit your sovereignty, your self-esteem, your freedom to another man. And I was so hurt. I have been bothered since I saw Costa's show. When 7,000 Liberians looking to Alan White to lead us on the freedom, to lead us on the warlords, and Ellen Johnson selling our children, you people stupid. You must be dumb. And I cannot associate with people, nor a nation, who have no self-esteem, who have no patriots, who have no men. When I saw you depending on this one man drinking water and telling us how he will free us, how he free Freetown. But Freetown people are Commonwealth people. They got president and everything, but they are part of the British Commonwealth. So they have no leadership. And that's why Barack Obama had to write the UN for them, because he had no place to do that. But he knew these people are Commonwealth slaves. And if they do not get up and stand up for themselves, the British will let them die, because all they want from Sierra Leone are diamonds. And they don't give a damn about those niggas they're calling themselves presidents and leaders of an African nation, who don't know that when your nation free, and you submit yourself to Commonwealth, you have lost your pride and dignity to the white man. And that's why the white man has no respect for Sierra Leone, for Ghana, for Nigeria. He has the thing to get him money. How you get money when you depend on white people to give you money to survive? And your gold and diamonds are in fucking Africa. And we're giving it away and saying we are presidents. We are dignitaries. And you're looking at Chesson, who failed the white man by exam 5 times, but understands who he is as a Liberian and as an African. And the white man knowledge is only to enhance mine, but not to dominate mine. I am a Liberian lawyer. And my people knew enough to place in our laws that foreigners cannot practice law in Liberia. So all you people with your foreign degrees and laws, you can practice in Liberia because Liberia's law is above your comprehension. It's above your understanding. Because the founders, who are my fathers, who laid the foundation for the foundings of Liberia, laid in our laws the secret that only true Liberian lawyers can understand. So all these people like Siana Yo, all the courts in Liberia, Philip Banks, Johnny Lewis, and all these young boys that went away for law school and came back thinking that they know Liberian law. They have destroyed our country. They have betrayed our nation. And they must be punished. And that's why I want to pack the station of Liberia up with these useless Americans who are not Liberians. And we got to teach them that we are American Liberians because we have been betrayed in our country. And we have been betrayed by our people in Africa. So we are a mixed people of enslavement and confusion. And when our children in the diaspora come up, grow up, only knowing what they learn in the white schools and not knowing that for Liberia and for the foundation of true African leadership and Liberian leadership, and they want to infuse our leadership with the white man's leadership to dilute our country and betray our people and enslave us for all eternity with the Western knowledge that is blinded to the plight of my people. That is bad. That's why I divorce myself from every Liberian community organization because my people are lost. The native people that took over my people don't know the concept of leadership, don't understand the foundation that our people have built up for our country for years because they killed my grandfather, who understood how to unite our people. They fooled him with juju, and that's why he got killed. Because he deceived Jesus and deceived himself. Because we can't deceive Jesus. When we think we're deceiving Jesus and going to church and going to do voodoo, when we know the Bible has told us, place no other gods before me, if you want to be a Christian, then we still go practice juju. We have killed our souls. We have killed our nation. And all my people are voodoo practitioners. All Africans, the Cape Verdeans, the Senegalese, the Guineans, the Kenyans, the South Africans, white and black, all these people, they practice juju. Because that African religion, all that Christianity thing, they play with it. They think it's a joke. So don't mind all these African people running around the world saying they're Americans and all that. They are just Africans. They practice the same juju. They go to church and come on and practice the same voodoo. It don't matter. So if you fooling yourself and thinking you in a world with Africans who are different from the people in Africa, you are damn lie. You are damn joking. Because they're practicing the same voodoo. They're practicing the same juju. Yeah. They're not different. They're Africans. And don't mind them. And that's the deception that got my heart so troubled. Because we are deceiving ourselves. We deceive ourselves and think we're deceiving our gods. And think we see when we say we're Christian and go practice juju, it enlightens us. No, it deceives us. It makes us think we are leaders, but we are not leaders. Look at Ghana and all these countries. I told you, you can't be president of a nation, then be commonwealth of a foreign nation. You are a slave. Your nation are slave. Your peoples are slave. The continent is slave. We are not free. We are not free. And just by saying this, I have so many enemies. Because the people who say they love us, they don't love us. They want to enslave us. They put pictures of our children starving like bones. And so we're supposed to be happy about that. But we don't want to hear that. We want a few people to enjoy, the few educated people who got privileges to food and water and things. And we say we're fighting for the rest of our people. We're fighting for the poor people. And the poor people don't even know that they are being deceived, that they could live better in our own country. But look at our leaders today. And it's all based on our first topic, patriotism. If we're patriots, our country will not be like it is. We will not be overrun by Ellen Johnson Sirleaf and our children. We will not be overrun by warlords and killers. But because we have no self-esteem, we have no self-pride. Our poor people have been taught to be beggars. So all of them just depend on the enlightened people among our native people and our Congo people. I have been betrayed. I have been betrayed. My own family betrayed me. They enriched themselves. They didn't put me in the government because I'm talking and telling them, no, what you're doing is not right. You're screwing me. Tell you, you're screwing my native people. But you think because I'm also a child, I don't care about my pa property. I don't care about my mom property. But what hurts me is when people say that they're my family and they're not my family. When people say I'm part of them, then when I look at the real situation, I'm not part of them. They won't give me craps from the table. When I'm telling them, we all can be millionaires. We don't have to be greedy. We don't have to divide each other. All of us graduated with college degrees. We can come together and take our father mediocre property and build an empire with our knowledge, working together. But they tell me, no, our mom say, you're not part of us. Our pa say, you're not part of us. You're outside children. We'll hurt you. So I look at my people behaving like that, and I look at my whole nation behaving like idiots. We got the knowledge and wisdom to build our country, but we're too lazy. Our parents have depended on white people for so long and have sold our country to Lebanese and Indian people for so long. Why should we change it? We are imbued with this stupidness. We are imbued, that's our sense of patriotism. Sell our nation to other people. Don't listen to Rodney Chesson. Rodney Chesson is a little dummy outside child. He's a little bastard. But I've been telling my people for years, stop leasing our property to foreigners. We have the abilities to develop our own country, to build our own private properties. We don't need government. We need each other. But because we are so selfish, but because we are so full of petty greed, they have no concept of direction. Because our country is an African country, and we want to behave like we are Americans, like our fathers don't sleep around and have children. So we got brothers and sisters all over. We call them half brothers, like white people. We call them half sisters, like white people, instead of knowing that our strength is in unity of our father's children. Because our fathers want to have 4, 5, 6 women, that don't mean we got to deceive and betray our brothers and sisters. No. We are African people. We are not American people. When we come together, if my brother wants to stay with one woman, then he stay with one woman. If I got a promiscuous brother sleeping around, if we can't reel him in and discipline him, we cut him off and take care of his children, bring his children into the fold. But we don't throw his children away. Does the same thing happen with the Black Panther? You saw the Black Panther? The father threw his brother's son away because he wasn't part of them. And that child grew up and wanted revenge. I don't want revenge. I just want to straighten up my country and flog my people to let them know that blood is thicker than water. You can't just talk that shit. You got to mean it. You can't take my property for yourself, and you know when my power was alive. All of us shared. But now he died, you don't follow one group of people. It happens in all of our families. And that's not family. That's deceitfulness. That's unpatriotic people. That people who don't understand who they are. They are foreigners first before Liberians. But I was educated in my country. I didn't go abroad to get educated. I went to law school, everything. So I'm imbued with a sense of leading my people in a different direction. We are Christians, but our nation is not a Christian nation. Our nation is a mundane nation. And as Christians, it's our duty to convert people, not to force people into Christianity. No. We don't force even our own children into Christianity. Because the Bible teaches us, bring up your children in the way that they should grow. And when they are old, they will not depart from it. So if you don't bring up your children in the way you want them to grow, in a Christian way, not watching TV, not trying to be like the Simpsons or the what they call the show? Bill Cosby, children, the Cosby Show. That's make believe TV. Everybody in life ain't gonna be that damn perfect. And in that show, the children are rich. They're not poor family. If you want to raise your children like a rich family and you got no damn money, that's your problem. You know what kind of problem you're gonna face? Because you're not facing reality. The TV shows is for fun and entertainment. If you got that kind of money, you can't live like the Cosby. The Cosby is a rich family. They're a different family. They got one jobs. Their pa doctor. Their mom something else. They're not working 3, 4 jobs. They got a fat job like white people. Their children go to school. They're not working in McDonald's and all these places for money. No. So if you're sitting down watching the TV and you want to raise your children like the Cosbys, you know you got some deep psychological problem. So that's my first point. You cannot be a patriot if you don't know who you are. You cannot be a patriot if your whole mind is to get help from other people, to depend on other people for everything. you lose your self-esteem. Self-esteem is self-pride. You lose your self-esteem. But it's self-pride in a different way. It's not showy. It's a deep kind of pride. Self-esteem, you lose yourself, you lose your spirit, you lose everything. Self-pride, yeah, you can just, it's something that happens once in a while. You get shame, you say, yeah, okay, I lost my self-pride there. But when you lose your self-esteem, it's a different kind of pride. It's a pride that rests on your trait, on your virtue, on your personality, that you are condemned. And you can't rise out of that until you know how to relieve yourself of that depression and gain back your self-esteem. That is within your mind, it's in your heart, that when you think of yourself, you're happy. You say, oh, yes, I'm happy. I feel complete. I feel rounded. That's the self-esteem, pride, that kind of deep pride. So if you lose that self-esteem, you lose everything. And that's what we say self-esteem, it's a deep pride that goes to your soul. If you lose that, you lose everything. And when you're not a patriot, when you don't have self-pride, you lose your sovereignty. That's the third point of my lesson. You see my lesson, I got 5 points here, and I put them in order. Patriots. If you're not patriots, you cannot own anything. You cannot love nothing. You cannot love it enough to say it is mine, I will keep it. You will all want give it to other people to do for you. You will always want turn to other people to come and help you. Be patriots for your own country. Patriots stand alone and fight for that which they love. They don't trade it all for nothing. They believe in their gods and in themselves and nobody else. But when you depend on John and Peter and America and Europe, you are not a patriot. You are not a patriot. So right now, you know we don't have no patriots in Liberia. We got beggars. So then when you lose your patriot status, you lose your self-esteem, which is the second point to building nationhood, self-esteem, patriotism, and self-pride. When you lose that, you've already lost your patriotism, so you have no self-pride. When you have no self-pride, you can have no nation. You lose your sovereignty as a nation. You cannot be a people. You lose your sovereignty as a people. Because sovereignty means king. You own your nation. You are a sovereign. Nobody can tell you shit. But when people tell you shit, and then send Ellen White to you and say, I'm telling you, you don't do this thing, I will tell the American people to do this. One man threatened a whole nation of 400 people. 400,000 people. 40,000, whatever it is. One man and one U.S. senator can say, I will shut Liberia down. You people have no pride. For one man to do that and one representative of a foreign country to do that, you people are nothing but peanuts. So you have lost your sovereignty. You lost your patriotism. You lost your self-esteem. And you have lost your sovereignty. And number 4, you got Ellen White. Number 5, Ellen White is your Liberianism. So this is what my lesson is for the day. There are 5 points I wanted to raise. When you lose your patriotism, you lose your self-esteem. You lose your sovereignty. You turn to one white man for help, who is your savior of the whole nation. He becomes your concept of Liberianism. So my diaspora people, we are lost. We are a nation for Ellen White to save, not for ourselves to save. We have no patriots to rise up against George Weah. We have no loyalists of our nation. We got nothing but Ellen Johnson panty wearers, men wearing panties, useless people. My class is done. My young children, let me just give a lesson in leadership before I leave. But if we don't have self-esteem, leadership is key. We don't have love of country. Leadership, nothing. Is key. Nothing. Leadership, key. Leading Liberia is key. Leading Liberia right is the key. Ellen Johnson, Sally Field. Ellen Johnson, Sally Field. She told us to lead. That is the key. She failed Liberia. She never led us well. She brought us shame and disgrace in every front. Ellen Johnson, Sally Field. Ellen Johnson, Sally Field. Liberia's going down on the George Ria. Ellen Johnson, Sally Field. Now we need a leader who we can trust. Who is that leader? Attorney Commander Chesson. We